As many of us know, suicide is a very real thing. However, we tend to neglect it in our everyday lives. We see people struggling all around us. We'll see signs and symptoms that we may not even know, and we just ignore it, we blow past it. What is suicide, you may ask? Suicide is the intention of killing oneself in order to escape the misery that they may be going through. In order for someone to do that, they must be really going through something very severe, and many times we miss it. There's a lot of signs, symptoms, and ways people change that can help us as just as people in our community or people in our world that we can help save lives. Um, there are many unmet needs. Many struggle with substance abuse or insecurities and other things of people bringing each other down and and they don't realize how severe that can be to someone. Um, there is many symptoms, and the severity of suicide is actually very more lethal than you think. Out of the 115 countries in the world, our country, the United States, ranks 45th in suicide deaths, which, if you think about it, we could do way better with the social media that we have, with how our country's way more free than many of those other countries. We shouldn't be having that high of a rate, especially in the way we live our lives. So out of that 45, so when we rank out of 150 countries, we're 45th. That equals to about 43,000 people per year dying due to suicide. And if you do the math, that's about 115 people a day take their own life due to something that they're going through, and they don't seem to realize that pain is temporary and there's better days ahead of them. There's many signs to prevent suicide. It may start with a change in someone's clothing. They might be going from bright colors to dull and calm clothing. Or if you see people just, for example, like if someone you know is very good at the sports or they're very passionate about a hobby and then they drop the hobby out of nowhere, or they start losing interest in things that they used to love, or you can see that their emotions are starting to change and they're switching. And then again, a really big one, which is very sad, is substance abuse. Many people struggle with substance abuse that can tend to take over their mental state. Many people rely on drugs to get a high to prevent them from feeling how they're really feeling. And with all that said, a way to resolve the situation would be to just pay attention to the little things, pay attention to the way someone acts. Many times they say words, they say things that they try to hint to the world at how they're feeling, and we just don't pick up on them as human beings, and we can all do better at that. And if you look over to me, here's my causes of death just for the year 2021 alone, just to put it in just a more rational context. So we have cancer, that was about 243,000 deaths. We have a car accident, which for some people think car accidents are way more lethal. Car accidents were about 43,000. Suicide was at 52,000 just last year. So it rose about 9% last year. And just for one more to compare is strokes. So about for every 2 strokes, there is one person taking their life due to suicide. And with that said, I really hope we all understand, and I really hope I helped you understand how severe and how serious this is, and we can all do better at preventing this. We all have to look around at the people next to us, look at your neighbor, look at someone at work or at school or wherever you may be, and just always, an act of kindness goes so far, and we can all do better as a community preventing this. Even myself, I see signs that I now that I've done the research, now I see people that I know may be struggling, and I need to do a better way of just offering, hey, how are you doing, instead of just walking by them like they're invisible, because many more times than not, they're looking or seeking for help, and they're just really weak, and they're just dealing with their pain alone. So I really hope that I was able to persuade your mind that suicide is a real thing, and persuade your mind that we can all do better on helping others and picking on signs and symptoms to help us save each other's lives and help the world be a better place.